Hi, welcome back to Writers of the Apocalypse. This is Brian. I just wanted to say hello really quickly and just give a quick lead into the episode and describe what was going on here. Oftentimes when Jason and I are talking, when we're recording podcasts, whether it be over at the makeshift studio that we've got over at his place or over here, we will go down these kind of pathways as most people do when they're talking about things that they like to talk about, and we will stop ourselves and realize that we should probably be recording this. And this is one of those episodes. It was going to be about the movie Mosquito, and we watched it, and as time went on, we kept trying to talk about it, and we realized we didn't have a lot to say. But as you might know by listening to our stuff by now, normally those movies that Jason introduces me to are really springboards for talking about the much larger world of not only late 70s, early 80s popular culture movies, whether they be horror, science fiction, action, whatever, but how we relate to them and whether or not they resonate with people, and you know, if they resonate with a lot of other people, which they apparently do. And in this case, we started talking about practical effects. And practical effects were very important in movies at that time. In fact, you could say it was a golden age of several artists becoming rock stars in their own right for the work that they did. I mean, Star Wars, all the way up to Day of the Dead. So sit back, relax, and give a listen. And thank you very much for listening to us. We just really appreciate it. We have been working very hard on content for you, and it looks like people are now listening, and we absolutely appreciate it. One more thing, if you are listening to us via Apple Podcasts, please take a second to rate and review. It really helps out a lot. I'm going to stop talking. Again, my name is Brian. You're listening to Writers of the Apocalypse. Thank you very much. Enjoy. Oh, and I almost forgot. We start talking about Chris Farley and the movie Almost Heroes, which if you don't like, then I don't know, maybe you should check yourself. And I know somebody else that should check themselves, Rotten Tomatoes, because they give it an 8% and they don't know what they're talking about. So I don't know, good luck.
Mosquito may not always give you what you want, but it gives you what you need.
That's right.
I think from that kind of entertainment.
And you know, there was who's the poet that said you can't always get what you want. But if you try, sometimes you get what you need, I think.
Sounds like a bunch of hippie nonsense. I need that like a proboscis in my head, babe.
Right.
You got it.
And you got a Bukowski-esque, Tchaikovsky reference here. And, I'm sitting here reading the Russian Revolution, I mean, come on, babe.
Have you seen these mosquitoes? They look like they just got done with Charles Bukowski, babe. I haven't witnessed stunts that stiff since the Lee Harvey Oswald prison transfer.
Previously on Writers of the Apocalypse.
Superman, what are the stakes? Can't be hurt, mostly. Stop it with a kryptonite.
Dude, seriously, that's the problem. Look, every 3-year-old person loves Superman. But what happens is they go through this existential funk when they figure out, look, Superman can't be hurt. So where are the stakes? There is no, you're not invested in this at all, because Superman, you're not really worried about him. Oh, is he going to drop that truck on his stepdad? Oh, hell no. It's Superman. He's just, and he's a little toddler. He's not going to drop the truck on his stepdad. But the thing is, that's his only burden, trying to fit in to the mortality thing. But you just don't want to see a fight between like Superman and Superman. I mean, it was perfect in part 3. Superman 3, and I feel like I'm contradicting myself constantly.
Now you're talking about Dark Superman fighting Clark Kent.
Yes, yeah,
in the junkyard.
The junkyard. That's a fucking amazing shot.
we've discussed the importance of practical effects for kind of helping. It's weird when you see practical effects that are really good, like in movies from the late 70s or early 80s, such as when, gore or viscera is present, or if it looks like somebody's arm comes off or whatever. There's always those moments, in several movies that you saw, when you were younger, that you knew that you were seeing an effect. But how cool it was the point. Like how close to, and just impressive it was and things like that. That's what you wanted to leave with.
Yeah, it was like watching a magic trick be pulled off.
Yeah.
For me, especially being young and all this stuff was really coming to a peak in very early 80s. Yeah. And my parents were like, why does he like these gory movies? Mm-hmm. But they were thinking of it like, God, does he want to kill somebody?
Right.
No, it was just literally looked like paint, like red paint coming out of somebody's plastic arm that a machete went through.
Right. But you were watching the craft and the effect of it. And
I knew that there was somebody that just splashed that fake blood on that person.
Right.
And so it made it really fun and lighthearted for me, even if it was something really intense. Mm-hmm. Day of the Dead being one example of perfection.
Yes.
That gore level in that movie is not only high, a 10 out of 10 probably. Right. It's also extremely realistic and very well thought out gore.
Yes.
I mean, that movie is just...
When you see body parts and half a brain, and a body that's still moving and stuff, it's that looks like they probably... how a cadaver would look if it were taken apart like that. There were some disturbing images in that film.
Every zombie was different.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of work, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. And then those death scenes in that movie are something was really, I don't think, done a ton yet. See, those death scenes, you watch the whole death. When that guy gets his head pulled off slowly, and he's like... his vocal cords scream at that is, you never forget that. And I love it because that's a magic trick,
right?
And it's a really fun thing to watch when you know that nobody's getting hurt. It's an escape, but it's
that film elevates
shot.
It, exactly. That film elevates it to a point where it now it's you do really have a feeling of dread. And when
it is not not one of the comedies. Well, it's a very dark comedy.
Right.
I mean, there's some comedy elements, but it's played very serious.
Yes.
Whereas Dawn of the Dead is much more lighthearted. You can, it's like this fun, almost existential run through a mall. Everybody wants to kind of, I think that's a fantasy. A lot of people, I think it'd be a blast to, spend a weekend in a closed down 70s style giant mall.
Yeah.
Don't you think that'd be fun? Where you could just raise the stores.
I thought it'd be kind of cool. Yeah. Right.
Well, see, I never made it past 12. I'm still 12-year-old in it.
That's awesome, though.
An 80-year-old body. So.
And I think...
Did you catch that?
I did. Day of the Dead... definitely crosses another kind of sort of emotional valley as well. You know what I mean? Because it's because you're talking about the difference between Dawn of the Dead and Day of the Dead. And Day of the Dead's tone is this is the end of humanity, actually. These are probably, unless they can, because I remember they have a helicopter and they're going to try to get to another island.
Right.
Because they're we can have a chance there. So they don't know. They could be the last people on Earth.
That's right. The world is pretty much... Yeah, they don't have any idea, but they're also... The movie feels claustrophobic.
It feels that way.
Because you feel like they're possibly the only alive people left.
And so what do the few people alive left do? They fight with each other and somebody's trying to run the show. And
it's that claustrophobia. You're down there. They're in that underground bunker.
Yeah.
Yes, and they are down there with some really terrible people. I mean, and I think a lot of people I'll speak for myself. The main bad guy, I forget his name, the dark-haired guy that has the most amazing death scene.
Yeah.
He makes it, choke on that. Just amazing. He's one of my favorite parts of that movie. It's the anti-hero. Man, he is annoying as hell, but he cracks me up now when I watch it again, because he's constantly yelling.
Yeah.
He's from the beginning of the movie, he's like, God damn it, I want it this way. He's like a spoiled brat.
It's like, what? How did this happen?
Like, calm down. We're trying to fucking survive here, bro. I mean, we got barely enough rations to make it a month. Right. Chill out.
Yeah.
You're wasting air down here, brother.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's when you're like,
I can't help but think that they wouldn't have.
You're down there with him. You're like, honey, keep an eye on him. Do not let him sneak up on you. We don't trust him.
Yeah. I think at some point the group would have done something by that point to take care of that situation. But I guess they feared him or something. So, but it just shows like the evil that men do. You know, just like even possibly the last few people left on Earth, and it's like they're still gonna, bicker over horse shit.
Right.
Because
I think we have bigger things to worry about than the fact that you got one more meatball on your plate than I did. But talking about Day of the Dead still.
Yeah.
It is, I'll say in my opinion, I can't think of another zombie movie that would top it overall.
Right.
What do you think? You got anything in your head that
I mean, I've seen the obvious zombie movies, and like I appreciate the genre very much, but like I don't know a lot outside of Romero's stuff, and then some of the more recent stuff that has gone on in America, because zombies got big again in American popular culture.
I'll say Planet Terror, which is not a zombie movie, but it's kind of like, but still, that's not even Day of the Dead. But I remember the first time I watched Day of the Dead, probably, I don't know, I was probably 12 or 13. I was old enough to be probably okay watching it, and it was just like, what the fuck is this? Remember when they there's a scene where things really start ramping up, where the one kind of shorter, skinny guy with the I think he had a mustache, dark hair, he gets bit. He's one of the early ones that gets bit, I think on the arm.
Right.
And they lay him down on the concrete slab right outside of this 1974 like Winnebago style trailer that's underground. I'm just trying to paint the picture here, and it's brightly lit, and they grab his arm and stretch it out, and I forget who comes over, but they just, without thought, they just come over and just whack his arm off with a machete. I think it actually takes a couple of chops, and it is the most graphic thing a young 12-year-old boy, saw. Like, and then from there, that movie just keeps ramping up.
Right. But
I'll never forget that arm chop off. Is so and that's Tom Savini at his best.
Yeah, the effects in that film, like I was saying earlier, it's they do such a good job of making seamless. Just like whenever a fake limb is attached to somebody or something like that, there's never this weird wonkiness that suddenly takes you out of it.
Or they don't cut away either.
And it looks like something gets chopped off. And I saw the movie in high school. Okay. I rented it. It had already been out.
Okay.
And so there was a VHS tape is how I saw it.
Yeah, me too. And mine was VHS. Mine I think even was, me and my friends would always go to whatever video store there was one every 100 feet where we lived.
Yeah. And
we would go in there and we learned to look for the unrated movies in the horror section, just because I don't know, we just wanted to feel like we were getting away with something. And we weren't going to rent and sit there and watch porn together. So we rented horror movies that were uncut. With the gore, it was like a rebellious, like, we're not supposed to be watching this, man. I remember the first time I saw Bad Taste.
Oh, wow.
Peter Jackson. And you're like, what am I watching here? But you're like, God, this looks like a lot of work. Anyways.
Yeah.
Kind of went off on a whoo-hoo.
No, it's all good.
And we're back.
We are back.
But I love the practical effects. And Tom Savini's just, he started it kind of. He not started it, but he's just such a huge icon in that.
Yeah. The way the movie's shot, like the colors are perfect too. It's like all, the bodies look like, decomposing,
Yeah.
Just the skin, naturally,
Oh yeah. They just put it's almost like they just painstakingly made up every single zombie. I can't imagine how much time that would take. And then, but it's a masterpiece. I don't think that, was it Land of the Dead that he did after that.
Yes. 2000.
It's watchable, but it's just not Day of the Dead.
Right.
Doesn't even touch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a super vehicle, so that's fun.
That is always
Did you
fun.
like the remake of Dawn of the Dead made by Zack Snyder? What'd you think of that
I remember
movie?
enjoying it.
Yeah.
I only watched it once. It's very intense.
That was all I needed, man.
It's
Slap
very
me in the face. That's all I tell you. Like,
Well, I tell you,
Whoa.
movie scared me, Brian.
You know what I mean?
That's a funny, idea.
Somebody that really gets scared at like a movie still, like, I'm telling you right now, man, I ain't going back and watching that. Y'all can finish a movie. I'm out.
Right. And this is in the theater.
That's a ghost. And they just kind of turn around and walk out. And they're like, wait, is he really scared?
Or the first zombie that shows
Ed,
up.
where are you going? No. You ain't getting me back in there.
No. The first zombie that shows up, he's like, oh, no.
I don't do zombies.
Middle of the theater. Like,
I do not do zombies.
Sorry, y'all.
All right, catch you on the jingle, hit you on the jangle. Audi.
And everyone's like,
5,000.
shh.
They're like, get out of the theater, man. Just the manager's already on his way. He's walking down the...
Sir, doing that customer service, sir.
Excuse me, sir.
Sir.
No, I'm just telling my friend that I am horrified. This movie...
I cannot finish this, and I am leaving.
We understand,
we know.
sir. We'll walk you out. Everybody's like,
yes,
please. When he leaves,
absolutely,
when they finally walk him out, the doors like swing shut, ring, ring, and everybody's like, just everybody applauds.
Oh, and another thing. Oh.
The manager later comes back at the end of the movie and says, all right, folks, we're sorry about the disturbance. Movie's on us. So stop by the box office. We'll give you some free tickets for the next one. We are so sorry. Please come back and see
nice
us
small town theater.
at
Come on now.
Smirkus Malcolm Hebron 6, right on 5th and Main. Hey, everybody.
So, welcome back.
We're
Talking about favorite unsung classics, movies that we like. Sorry. That's the Right Stuff style pilot that's always, we're heading in 549er, making an approach to McCarran Airport. And when you get off, just make sure that you give your stewardess a quick wink and a smile.
That's right,
Don't
Jim.
do that. The other pilot's like, no, don't do that. Leave her alone. I don't know. But, yeah, so what's an unsung classic? Like, what is a movie? I can definitely think of a movie that has some fantastic moments. It's a lot of fun. It's lighthearted. A family can enjoy it. And it's made by and with people that are in a lot of other high-profile projects that have worked together that have made other things like Waiting for Guffman, right?
Absolutely.
So we're talking about Christopher Guest.
Yep.
We're talking about several other people, like Eugene Levy, Second City people.
Yes.
And also... Matthew Perry from Friends.
I know the movie. Oh my God. Of course I know the movie. Almost Heroes.
Fantastic.
The movie
with Chris Farley.
I don't know how many. I know.
Wow.
He had, yeah. God, I wish he was still here. But I got to see that in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
And it was on for maybe a week or two.
Is that right? Yeah.
I just loved Farley so much. I was like, nah, I'm going to go see this.
And I don't know what happened. It just like there was, as far as it just didn't generate any buzz or it came out at a bad time or something.
It didn't seem like there was any promotion. I actually had to I was aware of it. So I knew, I was like, okay, it's out now. I'm going to go.
Yeah.
That's how I was just a huge fan.
I love Farley's delivery throughout that movie. He is hilarious as that big galoot that's just,
It's sad that
we got to get through here.
That I think it might have been that year or the end of that year that he passed away, I think. But
I think so, yeah.
It was very soon after Almost Heroes. And you could tell he was a little bigger, but he did great in Almost Heroes. I love that movie.
I think so too.
Yep.
I think he found this other, because he was already known for doing that type of thing already.
Yeah.
But there was a an earnestness there when he was playing that role. And just, just a guy that even though he's rough and tumble and, he's not like, the landed gentry and things like that. It's like he'll do the right thing. He'll do the best he can.
Yeah.
And so
but he put himself really into it. I think he really, didn't you say that there was maybe potentially he was kind of prepping himself to start doing some like blow your mind serious stuff even? Like
I don't know.
Okay.
That's an interesting question.
Somebody was discussing that, and I don't remember how it started, but I think they mentioned that maybe there was a movie that was being made or something that Farley really wanted to dive deep into, and I could be wrong, but he never got to do anything like that.
He had recorded a lot of lines for Shrek. He was originally Shrek.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he died before he finished all the lines or something, and so they brought in Mike Myers to do the voice.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And there's you can YouTube it. There's whatever they call that when they're figuring out animation, where it's just the basic drawings.
Okay.
And so they've got the basic drawings loosely animated to Farley's Shrek.
Oh wow.
And Eddie Murphy's voice and stuff like that.
Okay.
So, yeah. So you can kind of watch and see. Yeah.
Damn. Well, so when did Shrek come out?
Right after that. I mean,
Okay.
probably maybe a year or so when they had to
late 90s, I guess.
Yeah.
Was Farley died in 98 or something?
Yeah.
But Almost Heroes, his the pairing up with Matthew, is it Matthew Perry?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Friends.
that pairing, yeah. I wasn't a fan of Friends. I mean, I just didn't.
Right.
I was very busy at that time in my life. Mm-hmm. I just didn't watch TV, really. I watched a little bit of Saturday Night Live reruns, and that's almost it. And I was busy being a mid-20s, I think.
Busy peeling yourself off the ladies, man.
Really just, no. Never did anything untoward.
Of course, right. I just want to let everybody know. Just in case you're wondering.
I did not have sexual relation.
Dude. Anyway, I did have sex. Thank you.
Thank you. Boy, Mayor Lipton is in over his head.
That guy,
that's another story.
He's in trouble again.
Yeah, he's in trouble again.
If you guys have been checking the newspapers, you know what's up.
You can't help but like the guy. He's likable.
Yeah.
You forgive him every time.
And he always asks for your support no matter what's happening. It's just kind of...
He's so honest. Anytime he has a scandal, there's really not a scandal because he's, I did it.
I'm sorry. He's right. He immediately owns up to it. Good guy in my book.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
People make mistakes.
Right.
Anyways.
Even if there's 13 of them throughout the last administration. But hey.
Wow. One a month. Well, 1 a month plus one. So the pairing up of Matthew Perry, I wasn't a Friends fan. So I wasn't real familiar with Matthew Perry, like how funny he is.
Yeah.
And dude's funny as hell.
Yeah.
I'll just say it. Good looking guy that's kind of just a regular kind of guy. You don't know how funny that person's going to be.
Right.
Chris Farley, you kind of look at him like, this dude's going to crack me up. I mean, I love him for that.
Yeah.
And even David Spade, you look at him, you're like, funny guy. He's going to be funny.
He's consistently funny. I like Spade, man.
But him and, going from pairing Farley with Spade in 2 movies prior and then jumping and saying, Matthew Perry. And it works.
Yes.
And Christopher Guest knew, he knew something.
Right.
And that movie's enjoyable.
It's one of those, drinking, it's in the classic vein of early, like Walt Disney pictures from the 50s and 60s where they're making stuff like bed knobs and broomsticks, stuff like, well, not the same thing, but very much in that, like it's a Disney... It's a Disney family-friendly romp, kind of,
It's a travel movie. It's that...
Yeah.
It's that whatever road trip, but they're on the river.
They got to learn to get along through the...
Sure.
Trials and tribulations of trying to beat Lewis and Clark out west.
The bear was definitely worse.
Dude.
He's like... the bear scene where they're all sleeping and then the fly... Or the bear comes in and he's like, just sniffing around. They're acting like they're asleep because they're horrified.
Right.
And then
he's like, dude's
got there's a bug on my nose.
Oh my God. No, he says,
don't
scratch it.
But it's
'Cause he's
itching.
like-
I think it's up in there.
Yeah, he's like, it feels like there's a bug
I
up
got
there.
it.
You
That's
can just
it.
tell.
That's
He's
it.
like, oh, sweet baby Jesus, I gotta scratch this.
He can't not scratch it. That's that. What kind of itch?
I've gotta scratch it.
What kind of itch will you scratch? Will you scratch, risking your life in front of a giant grizzly bear? What does
My
it take?
nose itches. Whatever
Don't
you do.
scratch it. When they clip to Farley, and the guy's like, my nose, it itches, and he's like, don't scratch it. Like the way he delivers that, it's so intense. He's like,
Right.
I know what I'm talking about. I'm a mountaineer. I love that aspect of Farley at that.
Man.
But the bear drags him away. And he comes back later with the leg missing.
Oh, like they find his ear or something.
His
Hello.
ear, and he's got a wooden stick for a leg. It's been, I guess, days.
Or the bear just toyed with him, I guess.
Yeah, he ripped my leg off and I got away. Whatever happened, but any of your favorite scenes, dude?
Man, just Farley just doing his thing wherever so often. He just does the physical comedy. One that I love seeing, especially if I'm slightly altered in any way, is when he has to get the eagle egg. His mission to get the eagle egg is just flat out, just like they
I
keep
almost
showing
forget
him
about the eagle egg scene because
that
that's like so far in the movie. A
Yeah.
lot of time I've watched it so many times. I'm asleep at that point. Unfortunately, I've watched it all the way through. But yeah, the eagle scene, and he keeps going. And that tree that's a tall tree.
Every time
he's
he
a
gets
heavy
to
guy.
his goal, he's like, well, I'll just, and then, you just hear the eagle's like, oh God, the look on his face.
And it's a different line every time he climbs the tree. He's at the very top, eagle nest at the very top of this probably 150-foot pine. Just
Not good.
they're on the Pacific coast.
Right.
Those trees are big out there. He climbs to the top, eagle nest, bigger than him.
Uh-huh.
And he reaches it, and it's just a different line every time.
Yeah.
By the end, he's like, dear God. It's just,
I just got
dear
up.
God, no. And whoever fell through the tree, the stunt person.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime somebody does it, that looks. It had to have been done.
Yeah.
I mean, somebody fell through and hit limb, just boom, pop, pop, boom, pop, tash. And I think when Chris Farley hits, he's like, hey, the air all comes out of it. Wonderful scene.
Yeah, that's one of those. It's one of the many films we'll probably talk about where it just doesn't get enough love or something like that. I don't know. Maybe it's just because there's nostalgia there from.
I don't think it gets
watching
enough
it
love.
at a certain time or something.
Absolutely.
But, yeah, it came and went. And it's really weird.
I think for Farley fans, really, I can speak for me, maybe you. It's that last time you get to see him in a film, so I think it makes it a little more something.
It's better than Black Sheep.
Oh. Okay. Now
Is
that's
that a spicy
something to
take?
talk about. Next time on
Next
Riders of
time.
the Apocalypse.
Hey guys, this is Brian
And this is Jason.
from Riders of the Apocalypse, and we wanted to say thank you very much for listening to the show.
Seriously, thanks.
Thank you for telling your friends if you had not already.
We really appreciate it.
And thank you very much for doing one more thing for us.
What's that?
That's going to ridersoftheapocalypse.com and checking out our social media links, checking out our merch links, and even checking out film commentaries for friends of the show. But that's not going to happen unless you do one thing, and that's ride with us.
Man, everything you're saying right now, Brian, is so true. We just, listen, folks, everybody out there, stop what you're doing. We just want you for half an hour, 35 minutes tops. Come on, hop on board, take a ride. Let's ride together. That's what we're here for, folks. You ride or you fly. And if you fly, I hope you fly, a decent airline. But anyways, fuck flying. Come on and ride. Got plenty of room in the back seat. Brian, hell, I even think he'll either scoot over or just get out. Let you ride shotgun. Either way, we're going to give you the comfortable seat and maybe even a cup holder. But come on, folks. It's time to ride. Every time I ask anybody to ride, they're always like, oh, I got something else to do. No, Get in the car, shut up, and let's ride, man. You know, you only live so long. Hell, I wish I could get my wife to ride with me. Anyways, just come on a ride. Hey, I'm buying gas.